I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. The East Municipal Advisory Council welcomes all of you here to this special meeting agenda, July 31, 2025. We'll do a roll call. Jeff.
I'm present.
Jeff is Greek. Mr. You're the Vice President, right?
Yeah, I am.
Yes, Vice President Morrow.
I'm here.
And President Ernie Garza is here, Harinder, Director Harinder, and Josie are absent. Okay, with that, we're gonna open it to the public comment. Matters under the jurisdiction of the MAC and not on the posted agenda may be addressed by the general public at the beginning of the regular agenda and any off-agenda matters before the MAC for consideration. However, California law prohibits the MAC from taking action on any matter which is not on the posted agenda unless it is determined to be an emergency by the MAC. Any member of the public wishing to address the MAC during the public comment period shall be permitted to be heard once for up to 5 minutes unless the chair of the MAC. And for the matters that are under the agenda, please raise your hand at the time that the item is announced by the MAC chair, and you'll be given an opportunity to speak. So with that, public comment. Anyone with Roy?
Might as well get it out of the way, huh?
Yeah. Let's do it.
My name's Roy Winters. I've lived in this town all my life. And thanks to the board for their volunteering their time to come and have these meetings for us. And all the departments, the county departments, I see the CHP, Sheriff's Department. I don't know if we have a fire department. I can't see everybody, but if I missed somebody, I'm sorry about that. We got the library, he's always here. And I see we've got a lot of people that I haven't seen before, so thanks for coming. These MAX meetings are for us, the people in town. I'll wait till they get in. Come on in, have a seat. Okay. Anyway, I've been doing this up here for a couple of years now, and as you probably know, a lot of things aren't getting done, but that's why we keep asking for them to get done from the departments from the county. And so let me get started because they have a special meeting tonight for other things, am I right?
Yes.
And so he wants me to get this done fast enough so that they can get on to the main thing for tonight's special meeting. But because we have people here, I'd like to bring up the things that I've been talking about all these couple of years. So number one, I'd like to get more police presence in town to curb the running of the stop signs, the speeding, and the donuts, and shootings, and everything that goes on with the crime. And here's where I want to be done with that. Years ago, we had a substation down there, if you remember, and we don't really need that. What we need is a patrol car in town. I've been asking for 24/7. I realize we're probably not going to get that, but if we can get 2 shifts on that, and when you call in for help for like a sheriff department, it goes to the dispatch and you got to answer all these questions, and a couple, 3 hours later, you might get one in town. That's not what we're after. We want a telephone in the patrol car, not his personal phone, the patrol car. When you call, you'll get that phone, he can answer, you can tell him what's going on, he can be anywhere in this town in a minute. That's what I'm after. I hope that everybody agrees with something like that. That right there would curb a lot of the crime because he can be on top of what's going on. Because if you call right now, you got to, if you've ever done it, you know what happens. You got to go through the dispatch, he knows. And like for one thing, like if you're in town and you got a party going on till 3 in the morning and you call about 10 or 11 o'clock and you want somebody to get out there and shut that music off so you can sleep, well, they might get out there at midnight or 2 in the morning. That's too late. The thing is, we need a patrol car in there with a phone where that guy can get on the thing that you're asking for. Okay, that's one thing. Police presence. Here's one I don't know if anybody else got this problem, but years ago when they put the freeway through, we didn't get a sound wall from Keys to Faith Home. And if you live anywhere in the old part of town here, it keeps you awake all night, especially in the morning when they go to work. So we're after Caltrans to get a sound wall out there. And our Chance Condit, is he present here tonight with anybody?
I'm his field rep.
You are? Okay, well then you're getting all this down. Chance knows all about this. And so he's supposed to be working on that for us to try to get done, so we're hoping for good luck on that. Should have been done back in '65 when they did it. But, and they do every other town, right? You people see that when that happens.
You're not that old, Roy. You were here in 65?
What's that?
You were here in 65? You're not that old.
He was about
No,
50
I've been
years
here
old.
since
65.
'46. I know, I'm not that old. Okay. The alleys in town, in the old part of town, basically, because the new ones don't have alleys. They still have a problem with the weeds in the cars and people living in the alleys. And we need those clear because utilities and fire department, and so that goes to Public Works, I guess, or, whatever. Actually, years ago, everybody was supposed to keep their alleys clean for weeds and stuff. But then somewhere along the way, they turned it over to the county supposed to do that. Well, you see what's getting done, right? It's okay in some of them, but I can go right here right now and see cars in the alley that are sitting there for days, and that's blocking utilities, and if they have a fire, you can't get to your house to get it out quick in the alley. Public Works, thanks for what you've been doing, but our main concern on this particular thing, I'll try to hurry up, Ernie. Keys Road, westbound, getting on to Nunes. Years, when they put the Keys Road in through there like that, there's a big curve. They had that wide enough, and at that time, they did have a right turn lane coming westbound on Keys Road to get on Nunes. Right now, I thought when they paved it here a couple of months ago, they would have got it back again. Why they took it out, don't know, but that's dangerous. Me, myself, when I come through there, there's about 3 feet off before you hit the gravel, and so I try to get people behind me to know that, and so I can turn right and they don't hit me. But that someday somebody's gonna run over somebody bad there. Do we need that turn lane? Now, when you're going eastbound to turn on Nunes, there is a turn lane. But that big sweep there is plenty wide enough to get that other one back in there. I don't know why they didn't do it, so that's Public Works, right? Okay. Here's one, I don't know how many people are worried about this, but trucks in town. There's only one truck route in town for big rigs, right? And it's this one right here. Well, if you look right over there, there's a truck parked on the street, see it? That's not legal. It's a big truck, it's been sitting there for days. I don't know what the problem is there, but there's other trucks in neighborhoods, and some guys even pour cement in their driveway and they park their big rigs up there. In town, it's not legal. Dollar General, all these big trucks can go up and down Road right here, 7th Street, but I don't see why Dollar General has to come 2 blocks over and buy my house. I'm kind of messed up there, so I don't want to get into it anymore because I might get mad. But anyway, that's another thing. It would be nice if people would quit littering coming into town on the frontage road down there just before you hit town. I wish they'd quit littering and take their litter home and do what they're supposed to do with it. Here's one thing here that probably people don't know about, but I do. I've got letters on it. Governor Newsom wants to make this state a sanctuary city. Well, I don't. And he wants to make towns sanctuary towns. And Keys is one of them. And I don't want this town to be a sanctuary city. I don't believe in it. I could go on about that one, but I'm not going to right now. So if you're concerned about a sanctuary city, if you know what I'm talking about, talk about that when you vote for next governor. See what we can do. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Roy.
Thanks, Roy.
Okay, anybody else? Now's the time.
This is out of the way.
Hearing none, We'll move on to approval of minutes for April 17th, 2025.
I went over the minutes and I make a motion to approve.
Got a motion, got a second?
I'll second it.
First and second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Got it.
All right, we're going to the monthly reports, and we're gonna go to the California Highway Patrol first.
Were you sitting here waiting? Good evening, officer. It is CHP. Well, since our last meeting, I'll go over the stats first, and then we'll go from there. In the keys here, we have 3 crashes that were minor injury, 8 hit and runs, 14 property damage only collisions. We had 6 DUI arrests, 19 calls for sideshow activity. We took 9 stolen vehicle reports and found 2 of those same vehicles abandoned here. Let's see here. In total, calls for service and series, we had 472 calls for our department. A little something different here. I'm going to give you guys some stats for citations.
That's in the last 3 months, correct?
Yes. In the East County, because I can't break it down by just keys, in the East County, we had a total of 129 collisions. We issued a total of 530 citations. Of those 530 citations, 30 were misdemeanor cite releases. Those can be DUI arrests, driving unlicensed, that kind of stuff. We had a total of 36 people cited out of those collisions. So they, for whatever reason, it was deemed a citation wasn't necessary for that. And then as far as the CHP is concerned, little news about us, we had 5 new officers since April. So we added 5 new officers to the area. However, here in the next couple of months, we're going to be losing 4 for promotion. We have another officer, Officer Aaron Norstein, who's going to be my counterpart. He's going to be working the first half of the week. I will be moving to the second half. So you should still be seeing me here at your meetings. I will be working every other Thursday through Saturday. He will be working on Sunday through every other Wednesday. I'm hoping that he will join me one day so you guys could at least be introduced to him, because he will be working traffic complaints and that kind of stuff during the week here. And then the only other newsworthy thing I have for you is on the 28th and 29th of this month, we were out here with Caltrans. I was out here with Caltrans taking care of some of the homeless issues there along the freeway. That tree house that was there is no longer there. And we cleaned up the alleyway here.
I saw that, that was very good job, thank you very much.
The only thing I would request from you is if you see stuff like that, give us a call the office, not an emergency line. We'll make a note of it. I will come out here, and that way we can try and keep it clean, keep people from starting fires, stuff like that. Yes, ma'am.
I mean, I don't know the schedule or anything, so how often are you guys here?
So I am spending approximately 3 out of my 4 days essentially going from county line to county line, working on shelter issues. I visit the camps, I provide information for services, that kind of stuff. So I'm in here a lot.
I mean, how about in this town?
In this town, so it just depends.
When you get calls or something like that?
To do homeless issues or just?
No, just any kind of issues.
So I try to come here into town to work on some of the traffic complaints at least once a week.
And then you said you had a partner that does the other half?
Yes, and we both work traffic complaints. So the way a traffic complaint works is if you call the office, it gets logged and it tells us where services are needed.
So the sheriff's office or what office?
So the sheriff is they will work traffic complaints, but they don't work traffic incidents like we do. The CHP handles traffic.
So we should call the CP office?
The CHP office. Yes.
CHP, okay.
Yes. Call if you have a traffic complaint. Call it. They'll log it and they'll send it to us, and we'll come out here and work it. Now, like I said, I come out here about once a week, depending on my schedule. However, there are officers that work the East County. So there's generally one that works the freeway. So from what is it? The River Tuolumne down to the county line. He works just the freeway. And then we have another officer that's dedicated to the 32, so the East County, which is everything south of 132 to to the county line in this area. So there you go, have anywhere from 1 to 2 officers that they working this side of the county. Any questions?
Just a reminder, school starts August 12th, so we appreciate the presence around starting and ending school.
Well, now that I was switched over to the 12-hour shifts, it should be a lot easier for me. Before I would start at 8, so it was difficult to get here.
Yeah.
And get approval for time swapping, but now, I'll 5 to 5, so that should have no issues.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Officer Reyes. Okay, Stanislaus County Sheriff's Office. Here, okay, we'll go to the fire district. No, the chief, they have their meeting at the same time this meeting takes place, and that's why, otherwise the fire chief would be here. Stanislaus County Public Works.
We should be doing regular maintenance. Keys. And the alleys, all you gotta do is call in and we take care of the alleys for the past couple of years. So if you guys have any complaints, just call the office, put it in up.
About the weeds, about the
Yeah.
cars or anything?
Yeah, we work with the sheriffs and we contact them and we get a picture, we'll find a way.
So the sheriff's office,
But you call county, Public Works,
public works.
and we'll come out and check it out.
You can also use the Stan Connect app and you can take a picture and then they will contact
Yeah.
you if you give them your information.
The picture is GPS, and then it also gives you alerts when it's been read, when it's been updated, when it's been closed. So that's the easiest and fastest way to have accountability for the county.
Very good. Thank you very much. Keys Library, Alberto.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Alberto Salcedo. I am the library assistant here for the Keys Library. Currently, we are in the Keys Community Center, right next to POW. Just some things that have been happening for the last 3 months. For the summer, we've been having our summer reading program. And so we've been having, usually every summer, we try to have at least 2 performers come and just do a performance. In June, we had the Didgeridoo Down Under. Tyler came. He talked about this Australian instrument that they've been using for thousands of years to make music. We had 14 visitors, including the kids from POW, and they just got to learn a little bit of history from Australia and try to play the instrument themselves. Also in June, we did have the Modesto Children's Museum come, and they did an activity with the kids. It was called Beginner Robotics, teaching the kids about robots, teaching them about coding and programming, and they got to play with the little B-Bot, and we had 12 children attend that. In July, we had George the Giant. This was our second performer for our summer reading, and we had 14 visitors with the POW kids also included, and he just did different stunts from swallowing a sword to ripping a phone book in half with his bare hands. Also in July, we had what's called a Money Smart Week. It was a way to try to teach the kids about money and budgeting. So all the visitors, they got a $25 pretend money, and they got to use that to buy actual school supplies. They got to decide what they want, from backpacks, crayons, highlighters, pencils, or even just a cool little button that they can put for their backpack. And we had about 65 people come to that.
How'd you fund that?
That's just, so the Salida Library, the children's department,
Yeah.
they're the ones that have been doing it for years, and they wanted to kind of expand it.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. And, but I can get more information.
No, that seems like a lot of funding, so I appreciate it.
Yeah. And then this upcoming Monday, August 4th at 12 p.m., we are having the Modesto Children's Museum staff come again. They're going to be doing a magnets, mixing, and motion program. This is for children ages like kinder through 2nd grade. But of course, anyone's welcome. It is registration. Well, we prefer registration just to kind of secure your spots. But normally, if you just come and you want to be part, or your children want to be part of it, you're more than welcome to attend for that. And again, I am from the library. We do have some computers. If you ever need to use a computer, if you ever need to print something, fax something, the faxing is free. So I know you can go to FedEx and pay for that, but it is free through the county library, and we also have books you can check out. With that said, any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. That's Board of Supervisors, Supervisor Condon, District
You
5.
skipped out. I don't know if anybody's here.
Oh, I did.
Wait, Board of Supervisors?
No,
No, I
Powell.
skipped Powell, Stanislaus Powell, County Powell. Anybody?
so you were right.
All right, you're right.
Premonition.
You got it right the first time. Okay.
I was just testing you.
There you go.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Subjeet Singh Gopal. I'm a representative of Supervisor Chance Condit, Stanislaus County Supervisor for District 5. Chance is your representative at the county level. Wasn't able to make it tonight. He's traveling, so we fill in for the supervisor at events like this. We're essentially your liaisons we're the liaisons between you and the county and anybody that the county works with. At times you may have requests from the county where you're not getting a response back. Maybe there's a huge backlog. You guys can give our office a call and we can kind of help expedite that request. We're not subject matter experts. We essentially bug people like Jennifer, like our public works department or anybody else in the county to just get a status update, and they actually move that work forward for you. So we're kind of your middleman between your elected official. In terms of updates for Keys, nothing major. Last month, Chance and I met with Ernie Garza from the Keys CSD. It was kind of an introduction for me to learn about what's going on in Keys. I just started this job last month, so still learning a lot more about the community and about the district. We did meet with Mr. Roy Winters as well. I was not at that meeting. My coworker Noelia Lopez attended with the supervisor. And you guys are always more than welcome to request one-on-ones with him. It's our job to serve you. If you give us a call, we either find you an answer, get you to somebody that has one, or try to get your request to its fullest extent possible. And so you're more than welcome to reach out to us at any time with county-related requests. I did bring some extra business cards today, which I can leave at the table, Edge, if you guys would like. And yeah, you're more than welcome to reach out to us at any time with county-related issues. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Assemblyman Juan Alanis, District 22. Anybody from his office? Stanislaus County Chief Executive Office.
I don't have any updates today.
Okay, thank you, Jennifer. Stanislaus Regional Transit.
Okay, a lot of new faces here tonight. I'm Steve Morrow. I am the citizen member of the Stanislaus County Regional Transit Authority Board. I don't have a specific update this evening, but we are working to improve bus service throughout the county. So we're starting back to collecting fares tomorrow. July was a free fare month, but the fare is $2 a day to ride all day. If you're a senior, it's $1 a day. If you're a veteran or active duty military, you ride free. So it's a great deal, and you can give a lot of places within the county. So check us out. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Stanislaus Behavioral Health and Recovery Services.
Good evening, folks. My name is Horacio Malino. I am part of Stanislaus Behavioral Health and Recovery Services, and I am part of the crisis mobile unit that's available to you guys. What we are is that we are a mobile crisis team that responds anywhere in Stanislaus County to either mental health or substance use calls. We're a 24/7 program that responds to anywhere where a crisis may be occurring in the county. We serve adults, children, anywhere where they may be. So we respond to homes, folks that are unhoused. We go to a lot of schools. Schools are going to be back in session, so we do see an increase in calls at schools. And what we do is we go out, we have a certified clinician that can go out and assess for safety, assess for 5150 criteria. If for some reason somebody does meet criteria for a 5150 hold, they can administer that hold. For the folks that don't meet that type of criteria, then we have our behavioral health specialists engage with those folks and hopefully try to get them educated and connected to services. We give them information as far as resources that are available in the community and then how to connect and what those services actually look like. Like I said, we can pretty much respond to anywhere in the county, usually within an hour. Our particular team can dispatch about 2 or 3 teams at a time. And then, like I said, we do have a 24/7 response, so we are available at all times. We can be reached through two different ways. We can be either reached through our crisis and support line. That phone number for that phone tree is going to be 1-888-376-6246. That's going to be a support line that you can call if you have any questions. That you can call to see what resources are available in the community. And then if you do need to access somebody on the crisis team, whether you or somebody you know is having a crisis, option 4 on that phone tree is for crisis calls. I do have pamphlets and information and cards on the table, both in English and Spanish with that information. And then the other avenue that we also utilize would be the 988 National Suicide Crisis Lifeline. They route those calls to that 888 phone tree. And then the last way you can reach us would be through a 911 dispatch call. If for some reason there's a danger component to the call or safety concern, you can place a 911 call and let them know that there may be also either a substance use or a mental health component to the call, and then they can dispatch our team. And then we can go out to the location and hopefully engage with the folks. The purpose of this team is to reduce any unnecessary psychiatric hospitalization, so hopefully get those folks connected to services at the end of an encounter, and then hopefully get them connected to either mental health or substance use services. And then the other purpose is to reduce any unnecessary calls that law enforcement may not have to go to, and that way they can dispatch some more criminal-based calls in the community. For the month of June, we did have 99 total referrals in the county, which is up from 90 the previous month. And then we had 14 of those actually resulted in psychiatric hospitalizations, which is down from 24 the previous month. So we are seeing a trend that we're reducing hospitalizations and hopefully getting folks connected to services. So, like I said, information on the table in English and Spanish with the flyers and the cards with that phone number. So, any questions? All right. Thank you guys.
Thank you very much.
Have a nice evening.
Okay, next is Keys Community Services District. And well, we're almost complete, almost done with our 123 PCP project. And I have some pictures to show you. And then I also have about a 20-minute video that we recorded when the Clayton Tuckfield, who did the wastewater rate study, presented it to the board, and I want you to see it for yourself so that you can then ask questions if you have any. So if you'll turn back that way, we'll show you we're going to start out with the granular activated centralized project here. So, and then there's going to be other presentations that you're going to have to be looking at that screen. So you might want to just turn your chair around and be comfortable because it's going to take a little bit of time.
We're gonna watch a 20-minute video right now?
Yeah, because it has to do with the wastewater presentation that is one that a lot of people are here.
You want to start with the picture?
Yeah, start with the pictures of the project. Yes.
You guys don't have to move the chairs back, I promise.
You know, you have to just turn around and go that way. Okay, that is the centralized DCP project where we're going to filter out that dangerous chemical. Next picture. Okay, that's just it. That's when they were going hard at it. Go ahead. Now, that's pretty much what it's looking like now. All you have here on these pipes that are there, that's where the filtration vessels are going to go. They still got work to do in this electrical room, but they're pretty much scheduled to get it done by sometime in October, I believe. Next. That's another picture of it. Next. And that's how it looks from the street. Next. And that's the gate over there by Rosalina. Next.
That was it for the 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, and that's it.
Yep, for that.
Okay, let's go to the video now.
Did you want to see the wall 9?
Oh, yeah, well 9, I'm sorry, good, thank you for reminding me about that. Now, well 9 is over on Faith Home Road, that's when they had started work in progress. Go ahead. And another video. That right there is a backwash pond. When the filters need to be backwashed, the water will go directly there. That's about 100 by 100 foot section that Butch Perone from Salida donated to the district. And as a matter of fact, even the entire well site 9, where the pump is, I believe he donated that sometime back in 1965, Kevin?
Now, that was probably early 90s.
Early 90s. Oh, okay, next picture. There's where you see him putting the vessels on there. And some more, next. And that's what it's gonna look like. And that's what's going to filter out all that 123 TCP, and once that gets done, along with the arsenic treatment plant, we're gonna have the safest drinking water ever. Okay, now let's move on to
Video?
yeah, let's move on to the video. Yeah, because, okay. This is when,
All right, everyone see that?
yeah, listen to that.
Okay. I'll begin. Let me thank, I'm appreciative that you allowed me to make this presentation tonight. I work with district staff to bring about the results of this study. And tonight, we're presenting the culmination of those efforts. Next slide, please, Michelle. Thank you.
Give me 1 second, please.
Okay. All right, so why are rates changing? Probably the primary reason is that there's ongoing needs for expenses of the wastewater system. So we have our O&M expenses, our operation and maintenance expenses keep increasing year after year for salaries, benefits, power and chemicals. We've also identified meter, the water meter, and we charge them for pound of strength, pounds of BOD, and pound of SS, in the same manner as the city of Turlock is charging. So essentially, this represents a pass-through, meaning that if Turlock raises their rates, so will you to those commercial customers. Next slide, please. So I thought I calculated a few commercial bills here. This is for commercial low, medium, and high, and these represent the largest users in each group. So for commercial low, their bill will go from $64.23 to $309.90 per month. For commercial medium, there's only one customer, and so last year we didn't have very much volume. But their bill will be going from $111.20 to $82.88. And probably most notable then is commercial high, and there's only two customers in there, 2 meters in there. So the largest one, 2-inch, using a substantial amount of water, 1,425 cubic feet, his bill will increase from $160.67 up to $9,861 per month. That's a substantial increase. So you do have a very large commercial customer out there that's contributing high volume and high strength to the system. Next slide, please. Now, Bernie also asked me to look at the same study if we were to reduce that adopted reserve policy from $3.5 million down to $1 million. And if we did that, we would only need to have rate increase by 51.6%. And you can see the financial plan on the left and the reserves on the right. So we don't have to build our reserves up as high, so we don't have to have as large a rate increase. Now, what the bills would look like, if you go to the next slide, please. For single family, the bill would increase from $64.23 to $87.07. That's a lot lower than the $101 we had on the other slide. So that's a 35.6% increase rather than a 58% increase. And I think outside commercial show too. Michelle, move to the next slide, please. So here, while they did reduce somewhat, not so much of a drop for commercial low or the commercial high, they still pay quite a bit per month, reflecting the rate structure has changed to a volume and strength type structure. Next slide, please. So this is what I would propose for the next steps. Tonight I'm presenting you the results of our study. If there is a desire to move forward, the last day to mail out what's called a Proposition 218 notices would be July 10th. And those notices that need to go to each property owner and each person of record on the meter who might be paying the bill. Then we would come back on August 26th for a public hearing to comply with Proposition 218 notice. And if the rates pass, then you would adopt a resolution to increase the rates. And 30 days later, you can implement those on October 1st. So this completes the presentation, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that I can.
Okay, you can stop it there, Chris.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions?
Well,
Hey, there's John.
let's hear.
You wanna keep-
John there,
okay, look
a
on
little
that.
bit.
Everyone else is fine for me.
Okay. We have no questions. I will move that we approve. Mr. President, what about public comment? I apologize. Is there any public comment at this time? Yes. Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. For the record, my name is Stephen Morrow, and I served on the ad hoc committee that was involved with studying this problem and taking care of the rate study. There is no easy way to sugarcoat this. The district is in trouble, and I know that the increases proposed are going to hurt, and for some families, they're going to hurt pretty badly. But costs for everybody are going up. But the district is really in a tough position, so we're just going to have to deal with, paying for the increased services. I know Mr. Garza had the study prepared with a lower figure as well as an upper figure. Costs are going to continue to increase, so I would more or less recommend let's just go ahead and take the upper figure down. I know it's going to be tough, but we have to do what we have to do. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other public comments at this time? No. Board discussion and deliberations?
Hey, what do you guys think? I think it might be a good idea. Maybe call a special meeting or a workshop before making a decision, and also maybe possibly, definitely before the public hearing.
We can do that, but we're going to have to move forward with approving the rate study. So regardless of we can educate the community, right? Which is 100% what we're going to do from door to door. But right now we need to move forward either with approving or not approving the rate study as it is, with either building the 1 million reserve or the 3 million reserve. So yes, we can have a workshop. Yes, we can discuss this further. Yes, we can educate the community. But yes, 100% is a motion to be made tonight in regards to the rate study. So that, you're right. We will have a couple more meetings after this. We'll have, like you said, a workshop. But we'll be doing something, either approving or not approving. Something will happen regardless. Does that make sense?
Here, now here.
Okay, is there any other, you got more, Cody? If I cut you off, I'm sorry.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna make a motion to approve the wastewater rate study prepared by Clayton Tutfield and Associates. Implementing the rate increase to build the 3 million reserve. Does that make sense? Alright. I have a motion, do I have a second? I have a second. All those in favor? Aye. Aye. We need one more aye or nay, Cody?
That's aye for me.
Aye, thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, well,
So who mismanaged the funds? Why is the reserve so low?
why is the reserves?
Yeah.
Well, to see what they're saying in the study, it says that if you have a $3 million reserve at the end of 10 years, you gotta pay $37 to everybody. If you drop it down to 2 million, it drops down to the 90s. If you lower the reserve to 1 million, then it goes to, I think, 89 or something that he said.
But why such a 58% is a high jump?
Yeah,
I mean,
it is.
who mismanaged it? There should have never been 58%.
I can only speak to what,
I know it's the city of Turlock, but I mean, it doesn't make sense. They're only went up $5, and here we're going up 58%.
because they consider us an industrial user, okay? Because that we've got stores and we've got Gilbert's, and so since we send everything combined in one force main to them, they said, you're a significant industrial user. Now, they raised the industrial users so high on, I think, 23 of them in Turlock, that I think that they're banding together and trying to sue them because they doubled their rates into the millions, but they lowered the rates for the people so that I guess they wouldn't get blowback from the people for passing the 218, but in 5 years, they'll bring them back to whatever rates that they're paying now. See, and that's what's killing us. Now, if we were able to separate residential, then we could possibly get rates like that. But we are a significant industrial user, and that's why we're getting hit with that. And it's been like that for years. Kevin has been here for the
Yeah, we've
last-
always been an industrial user because we have, like you were saying, one pipe that goes down there, so it's not like a house where you got a bunch of small flow. You got, we send like 300,000 gallons a day down. So we're considered an industrial user.
Right.
So is Daenerys.
Daenerys with them, Ceres is part of it.
Yeah.
I don't know what they did with Ceres, because Ceres has a treatment plant, so they send a little bit. But Daenerys is in the same boat that we are in. And
Ceres-
they are struggling.
Ceres don't send raw sewage down. They send theirs is partially treated.
Is it partially?
So
Yeah,
they-
because they have a plant.
They actually take theirs and take it one step further, then they sell it to farmers for irrigation. So they probably get a better rate than what we do.
I have a
So what
question.
about making our own?
I have a question for John real quick. Is this like with the streetlights, just because we weren't slowly adding up, it's just gonna hit us all at once?
It already hit us. What do you mean all at once? It hit us 10 years ago.
No, they didn't raise the rates 10 years ago, Mel, right?
From 47 to 109.
That was for
I
the
say
water,
that-
nothing for the sewer, correct?
Yeah,
It's
We
all
didn't water
together.
and sewer.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we had to put in a new lift station, and it's in and it's paid for, so.
Why this area is industrial when we don't have that many?
It don't matter about the businesses.
Like Turlock.
That ain't what they're saying. They say we send the amount of flow down, they consider us industrial.
Because we've always used them.
Yeah.
But maybe they should reconsider.
I know.
That's the way we've always been, Mel.
I understand that, but maybe we need to go back to court or go back to wherever we need to go to and reconsider it, because that ain't what we are.
Well,
We are not an indestructible, I mean, whatever.
they don't have to take our sewage, that's a problem. It's their toy.
How can we get our own?
It costs millions, and then you still got to staff it, so it would end up,
At today's rate, you'd probably look at $100 million to build a plant,
Yeah.
and then it'd have to be maintained. You think your bill went up now, it would really go up if we had our own plant.
right,
It ain't feasible.
no.
Well, that raise to some of people here and the rest of the town is just too much. I mean, for what they want, $37 or $40 a month for 5 years,
Yeah.
it's just too much. It can be, like you said, $5.
That's fine.
I mean, we're not gonna.
That won't cover the bill for Turlock.
But, well, again, this is not a town that has a lot of businesses to
Right.
get that money in taxes and all that to
Right.
cover that.
Yeah.
That town, Turlock, has that.
Yeah, no, me
So
as a
that's what I'm
resident,
fighting for.
as a resident, I'm gonna be over there protesting. I've already
So-
indicated.
Well, the big industrial that we have is right across the street.
Yes, it's on the other side. It's not
I know, we've
in
been
here in
talking
town.
with them. We meet
You know?
with Turlock people
So-
all the time, trying to, and a lot of times we'll get slug loads from them that causes our the invoice to go up by quite a bit. And that's what Mike and Kevin and I have been working and meeting with
Can
Bob
you
Gallagher.
meter those properties?
Well, that's, we're working on quite a few things, so.
That still won't take us out of being an industrial user.
Right, right.
No matter what we do to them, we're gonna raise their rates appropriately as we can.
Yeah.
It still will not make us non-industrial users.
Yeah, because even if you listen to the presentation on some of the, because they have an 8-inch water line, they want to charge them $13,000 a month.
So what's gonna make us a non-residential?
Only Turlock can do it, and they write the rules, and
Right.
there's nothing we can do to change that.
So they're the law?
Yep,
Well, it's
Can't even
yeah.
take it to court?
Well,
they done the rate increase by the law, there's nothing, we have no recourse. We only had one vote, even though the whole town, we only had one vote when they done their 218. We only count for one vote.
Because we're one ratepayer.
Okay, so where the other votes come from?
No, they're residents and they're people in Turlock,
But we only got one vote.
because we're only one customer.
yeah.
That's bullshit.
That's the way the law's written.
Yeah, it's not.
That's the way the law's written.
It's,
But
well,
whose law? Who, I mean,
California.
how can that be a real law?
That's
Because
California.
it ain't fair.
That's California.
The water district pays one bill, so they got one vote, correct?
Same as like Industrial Western,
Yeah.
they got 200 units out there. They got one vote,
yeah.
because there's only
Okay.
one customer.
Okay, here's what it said, even for us here, eligibility to vote or protest, it says, only property owners, not tenants or general registered voters, are eligible to submit a written protest against the proposed rate increase. Each parcel gets one protest vote regardless of how many people own it. So that's how they looked at it. You're only one parcel, one pipe coming in, you only get one vote. We're dead. It's.
I mean, I know it's out of your guys' hands. This city of
Yeah,
Turlock
it
is
is.
screwing us.
Yes, they are.
But what can we do about it?
I don't know. I met with Christopher from the Director of Utilities there, Christopher Fisher, and with David Huff from the plant. Oh, we have been trying our best to,
They just want our money, they don't care.
yeah,
So you're saying that all the people that own properties here send their letters that we got, only one counts? Is that how I
$1 per
understand?
parcel. Now, if you have, say you have 3 houses,
Yes.
you got 3 votes.
No, for the TID vote, we had one vote. For the community vote, we have one per house. So if you own 3 houses, you get 3 votes.
Yeah.
But what he said with the TID vote, we're only one ratepayer for this whole community. They send one bill a month.
So it sounds like we're just gonna do, we're gonna be voting on the 1 million or the 3 million, right?
No, if the town votes no, then they're gonna deficit and shut down.
Okay.
It's honestly out of their hands. It's in
And
TID.
how many people need to show up or owners to,
But so if you vote no, then what happens when the water district runs out of money and they can't pay TID bill?
Okay, and it's the city of Turlock, not.
So either way, we're
So,
screwed, no
but
vaseline.
I know what you meant.
Yeah.
But why
it-
can't we get the city of Denair, the Key City, Siri City, and get together and go against them?
We went and visited the mayor, we talked to the general manager, everything. He said he went down there when they were having the public hearings. And he would speak, but they wouldn't pay attention to them because they had already
They knew they had the
made up
votes.
their mind.
Are they considered
industrial too?
Daenerys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're one meter.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they came over here to see what we were doing. As a matter of fact, I think that they hired our engineer to do the rate study. Yeah, but again, see, here's what it says, because I asked, it says, is the board of directors obligated to approve and adopt the wastewater rate amounts proposed by a rate study that was passed by a Prop 218 vote? And it says, no, the board of directors is not obligated to approve and adopt the wastewater rate amounts proposed by a rate study, even if the Proposition 218 process is completed without a majority protest. They can accept the ballot, they can reject it, or they can reduce the amount, and that's what I'm after. I'm gonna be there protesting, asking for a reduction in these, because $37 is.
I understand it's gotta go up some.
Oh, yeah, no,
I mean,
but I'm saying not to that.
I don't think it should even go up any. As
Well,
much as we
I-
had to pay 10 years ago, it shouldn't be going up any.
yes.
I don't understand.
Well,
So it works for some people, but not for everybody, right?
no, it doesn't.
That's
And then,
that's how I pick it,
and then another thing that I was contemplating, and again, when I present it, when I speak over there, is saying, here's what I'm suggesting that you reduce it down to. And now, with our water fund, that is, really has money in it,
Reduce that.
whereas we can do what we did during the pandemic. During the pandemic, we allowed free water up to a certain point before the rates could kick in and the revenue still went up. And so what I'm going to do is, when I go there, I'm going to say, here's what I suggest that you reduce the sewer rates to, and because we do need the increase because they doubled the rates on us. However, to make up for that, I'm going to be looking for a reduction in the water bill, and maybe we can get it balanced down. But then again, that's not up to me, it's up to the board of directors. But I will be there presenting that, and if you're there and you like what I have to offer, well, then you can speak up and support me, or you can reject. That's what I intend to do moving forward. But, and the increase does have to take place because
We'll be broke in a year and a half.
yeah, we'll be broke. Like, it needs to be done. Now, here's what I want to tell you. That if you do not vote and you think that that's going to count as a no vote, it's going to count as a yes. And that's how it's set up so that these things can pass.
That's tricky.
Oh, that's been in there for years.
That's the state, that's the
California
state,
politics.
that's the state of California.
So
That's how Gavin Newsom became governor.
Say that everybody voted, does that mean it's gonna pass?
No, Mal, if everybody voted no, they wouldn't pay for the bill.
But see, nobody does. A lot of people just get their ballot and they say, I'm not gonna vote, and that means that it won't pass.
See, I would've thought the
Little
same.
do they know.
Okay, say that they do vote,
Yes.
everybody votes, what's
Yeah.
that gonna mean?
Well, it's gonna be up to, it's gonna say that it's not gonna pass, and so the board of directors has to get together and come up with some other plan and go through it all over again. We have
So
to-
say that I went out, got 1,400 votes saying, no, they don't want it, or is it yes or no? No, they don't want it.
Yeah.
That ain't automatically no, it ain't gonna pass?
No, if you vote no, then it will pass. And so we're gonna be going like, okay, well now what do? We're running out of money.
Then we take it out of the water
No,
account.
you can't mix those.
But so how do we get so much in the water account and not, I mean,
That's what
it's
he's
not
saying,
even
he's
even
trying
out in those.
This
He's gonna
is
try to
how,
adjust it.
this is how we got so much money in the water grants. Listen, we got a $20 million grant to put in an arsenic treatment
I
plant
got that.
because
I
we
understand
got
all
the
that.
mobile home part. Then we got another 15 million to do the 123 TCP project. So that's all paid for. Meanwhile, in the meantime, the people were paying into the water. I mean, it was building up because we weren't spending it. And then in 2021, we won a $9 million lawsuit against Dow Chemical Shell Oil for contaminating our groundwater. That's why we had that 123 TCP. So we ended up with 44 million in the water. That's why there's money in the water.
The other thing is, though, we had the tiers to drop our water up, and I thought we wasn't gonna be able to get grants, that's why we did the tiers, and then we ended up getting grants.
But we didn't know, I mean, I was in all those meetings, we didn't know the grants were available until.
But you know,
we put the
if we
rates
got $43 million, we should have dropped the rates then.
in. Agreed, 100% agreed.
We gave out,
But instead of we invested,
pardon?
I said instead of dropping the rates, we invested the money.
Yeah, we put money in California class, yes, and we have money in there. And this is why I'm saying that I'm going to propose that we drop the sewer rates down lower.
Water rates.
And then from the water fund, allow more water for the people people that will balance that out, and perhaps we won't be end up having to get these big increases. And that's what I'm going to be speaking about at the hearing. Okay? Yeah, I'm trying to find the best way out of this.
I understand, it's just, like 10 years ago, we had such a big increase. And then we're paying another one? I mean, I remember it was $47, then it went to $109.
Yes.
That's like freaking ridiculous. And now it's gonna go up again? Oh, hell
Yeah, you can vote.
no. How many votes do we need?
400? What percentage?
51?
51%. So you're gonna need about, was there 1,200 homes here, 1,300 homes?
I think we said that about
But they have to be
$1,700.
homeowners.
Well,
They
yeah,
have to get the
homeowners.
homeowners, they just can't be renting the house. That's the bad
Well,
thing.
there's gonna be definitely.
Yeah.
You just have to reach them to vote.
Yeah.
But no people get the letters, so a lot of people from cities didn't get the letters to go to
I didn't get
to
one.
vote.
No, you have to be a property owner. If you're just renting, or you didn't get the letter?
No, in series, they didn't get, a lot of people didn't get it. For the Bacol, the Hollywood, that area, a lot of people didn't get the.
Starlight.
Starlight didn't get the letters.
haven't gotten mine.
You have it?
I never got one.
Yeah, a lot of people, even my neighbor, didn't get the ballot to vote either. So I told them, I asked them with the lady, and she told me they only have to come and ask for the letter.
Yeah,
and
there
then
was
we
a
give it
letter
to
like
them.
this, which says ballot inside enclosed, and then.
I got it, but a lot of my neighbors.
A lot of them didn't get it. So I got those ours.
Here could be an issue. Some of us have a series address even though we actually live in Keys. So if your database didn't pick that up.
I was gonna say, Starlight's all serious.
Went to the- I'm sure it went to the ratepayers, so,
It should, that's what I'm saying. I
If you
should have
get your
gotten
bill, you got the right address.
yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, we're just gonna have to look into that.
Do we have them up front?
Huh?
Do we have them on the counter? up front?
Well, yeah, but we can't give them out unless they certify that, yes, they are the owner and here's the thing or whatever. Just take her name and address so that I can contact her tomorrow and follow up on that and see who else wasn't able to get a ballot, because we need to get a ballot to them. Okay? If you'll let her know and she'll write it down, and I'll get it over to you. Okay?
Roy's got something.
Series.
I may be wrong about this, but you'll set me straight on.
None of my neighbors got it.
Years ago, when Keys decided that they had a sewer system and we bumped it to Turlock, Turlock made the contract up, and the way they made it was, they could change the rates how, when they wanted to, and we had nothing to say about it.
Right.
I believe. And that's.
Well, who would agree to that?
Now, wait a minute, that's the city of Turlock. They made that up legally to where we have no choice about getting the rates up as they want it. Now, that's where we're at in this situation now, because the way they have designated us as an industrial user, yeah, there's nothing to do about it because we got one pipe going there. So all the sewer goes into one place.
Yeah,
It's nice, because we don't have industrial over here. It all comes from across the tracks.
Right.
If they can find a way to monitor that and get them to pay their industrial.
Well, why wouldn't
usage.
we just charge them more?
Okay,
The sewer water,
we don't have
can't do
control of
that?
doing that.
You have to justify it, and
Well,
so.
they're a lot bigger than a household.
But
They pay commercial rates.
they get paid by, they pay a higher rate, but it don't matter if we severed them, we would still be a industrial user.
Well, that's what I'm
If
trying to
Gilbert's
say.
wasn't even there, we would still be an industrial user.
The only way that we can get off of this for that big price deal is if we could monitor them for their industrial user and get us back to residential user.
They're-
But see,
But
that's a.
Turnout won't do it, they won't change it, they
That
won't
was just
change their
a clarification.
designation. So it's like somebody said, it's their toy and they can do whatever they want with it.
Now, can homeowners put in septic tanks if they want?
No.
No?
Okay.
At that time, when they did that, they say that Turlock said, we're gonna do this and we can raise the fee whenever we would like to.
Right.
Who was in charge of running the town that accepted that?
Okay, the question, that would actually have been the Board of Supervisors, excuse me, the Board of Directors of the district at that time.
Right.
So that was decades ago.
In the
that-
70s.
If they didn't agree, they'd say, then we won't
Yeah,
pay
well,
it.
They can't raise the rates at the whim, they have to do it to 18, and they did.
Oh, yeah. Right? Yeah, but it's hard to go back and try to, we gotta deal with what we're dealing with.
People that did all that are probably dead by now.
Yeah.
But, anyway, if there isn't any more, we do have other presentations that we'd like to move on with. We have Sarah Brunel from Valley Water.
Oh, yeah, okay, I'll make it quick.
While she's getting set, August 26th is when the community meeting is, and it won't be held here, it will be held over at the.
First slide.
Just
take it with me.
So that's the time.
Good night, Mel.
Oh, it's a mouse,
Thanks
it's
for
not
coming.
this. Oh, okay.
That's, if you want to raise a protest, that's the meeting to show to. August 26th, it's a Tuesday evening, and the meeting will start at 6 o'clock. I'm not on that board, but I'm going to be there.
You guys know the community center is at?
Okay. Okay, ready, everyone? We got the Valley Water.
I'll keep it short.
Yeah.
Got me better than the last one.
Probably tired, but,
Quick, and then
Yeah.
we'll have another one after that.
oh, it keeps going. All right, well, hi everybody, my name's Sarah Bernal. I work for a nonprofit based out of Modesto called the Valley Water Collaborative. If you want to turn around, there are slides, but you don't have to. So this presentation is really just to share with the community, like, what is Valley Water Collaborative doing to support your community access to clean and safe drinking water. I'm going to just kind of cover about what it is that we're doing, and then what it is that we need from you all as members of the community. Next slide. So our mission is essentially to enhance the quality of life in the Central Valley by providing residents who need it with access to safe drinking water by engaging in initiatives that safeguard and improve the quality of groundwater used for drinking water. And so we're really primarily, well, we only work with folks who rely on a domestic well for their drinking water. So all of you who are, fortunate enough to get the 123T filter and the arsenic filter, you guys don't have to worry about it. But if you have a domestic well right outside of the service district, and you're relying on that domestic well for your drinking water, we're here to support you in getting access to safe drinking water. So the major source of contamination that we are dealing with actually in Keys is 123T, but also nitrate. And so the nitrate, is really coming from fertilizers, septic systems, water treatment facilities, food and wine processing, and dairy bovine operations. The health risks of nitrate are primarily really, really bad for infants under the age of 1 and women who are pregnant. And it has to do with the fact that nitrate will connect to the hemoglobin in your blood and make it really challenging for you to get enough oxygen. And again, it affects mostly children under 1 and folks who are pregnant. So, and private wells are not regulated by the state, so most people who rely on a domestic well, if you know people in your life who rely on a domestic well, those wells, unless that owner has decided to test it, hasn't been tested by the state. So, next slide. So the short-term solutions, what we do is right now we are offering free well testing to anybody who has a domestic well and uses it for drinking water, and then we'll send you the results of that lab test. We test for arsenic, uranium, 123T, nitrate, and a couple of other legacy pesticides that are known to be in this area. If we find contaminants that go over the health safety standard, we have funding to provide households with 5-gallon bottles of water, 3 gallons or 1 gallon, depending on what you prefer, because they're all really heavy, indefinitely. So free drinking water delivered to your home, and that's all through Valley Water. Next slide. So yeah, we're doing a lot of local engagement. We're also serving, in case you know other people, we're serving all of Stanislaus, all of San Joaquin, all of Merced, all of Madera, and way up North Yolo County. Next slide. So also on top of just the bottled water and the free well testing, which is something that we're really trying to get people on,
We are also helping to plan for some other long-term solutions as a facilitator, and so that could be if you know a cluster of domestic wells that might want to consolidate with the Keys CSD, we might be able to essentially facilitate the feasibility studies that are required for that type of work. So the long-term solutions involve things like consolidation projects, building new small treatment facilities, and also potentially installing like point of use filters like reverse osmosis and things like that. So we'll also be working with you guys on all of those long-term solutions, and I will be hosting meetings in Keys because Keys is actually one of our focus area communities due to the fact that we already know that there are high levels of contamination in the groundwater. So look out for any invitations to give your feedback on what kind of long-term solutions you would like to see if you're a domestic well owner. And we can also help to try to secure funding. We have a lobbyist that we hired to go to DC and one in Sacramento that's asking for money so that we can do these $50 million projects that Ernie's already taken on, but for other folks on domestic wells. And so, yeah, what's your role? We really don't want to make any decisions without engaging with the community and understanding what it is that your preferences are. And then a big part of our role is really to build partnerships with cities and agencies and to coordinate the efforts of these really large infrastructure water projects. So what can you do? If you know anybody who relies on a domestic well, please grab a flyer from there, let them know that this is all free and paid for. There's never going to be a charge. It doesn't matter what's found in the well, we won't turn off your well water ever. So spread the word, distribute flyers, participate in the upcoming long-term solutions meetings that I'll be reaching out to folks in Keys in the next couple of months. And then we have some yard signs in case anybody wants to post one in their front yard. And so at the end of the day, our goal is really just to protect community health, to enhance water infrastructure across the Central Valley, and really to make sure that we can deliver clean, safe drinking water to any home that needs it in this area. So there's our contact information. Also, all of the contact information is on the flyer. Let us know if there's any event that's worth tabling at, and we'd be happy to send staff to table at an event that you might be hosting. So yeah, that's it in a nutshell. Yes?
Now, who's paying for all this, like where's the funds come for
Yeah,
all
yeah.
this water and the delivery and all this stuff you talk about?
Yeah, so the Valley Water Collaborative and other organizations like it, there's one called the Kings Water Alliance, we're all called management zones, and management zones are a requirement of the nitrate control program that the Central Valley Regional Water Board mandated in 2019. And so essentially, all those contributors that I mentioned, like dairy, bovine, municipalities, food and wine manufacturing, irrigated lands, anyone who has to apply to the county, or I'm sorry, to the board for a permit to discharge the nitrate, which has caused this big contamination issue, they are mandated by that nitrate control program to pay into something that will help domestic well owners access safe drinking water. And so this program is essentially a compilation of all of the funds from those industry sectors, as well as we applied for a $5 million grant to the State Water Board called the SAFER Fund. And that State Water Board grant allows us to test for 1,2,3-T, arsenic, uranium, and a whole bunch of things outside of the nitrate control program. So it's both this state-funded grant program, and then it's funds that the contributors of the nitrate discharge have to pay. So that's where all the money comes from for all of our programming. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Sure.
Any other questions? No?
Anyone have a domestic well?
Thank you,
Flyer?
Sarah.
Okay, thank you guys so much. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Okay. Okay.
I'm actually going to take
Now
this
we're
back and
going
leave
to
these.
action items, presentation and implementation of the housing element.
Oh, the Turtle and Sons first, please.
Thank you so much. It was nice to meet you.
Oh, Beaver, oh, that, I thought, okay, I'm sorry. Presentation on permit application number PON 2024-0114- Shergill and Sons, Stanislaus County Planning Department. Oh, that's what you meant by A and B, but you meant this one.
Oh, that's what I was wondering why you skipped the shares.
Yeah! Go ahead, like, man.
I put the arrow down there, but I get it.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Good evening, my name is Marcus Ruddix, Assistant Planner with the County Planning Department, here tonight to present use permit application number PLN 2024-0114, Shoreland Sons. This is a request to permit a truck parking facility for 12 tractor trailer combinations on a 19.2 acre parcel in the General Agriculture A240 zoning district. The proposed truck parking facility will take place within a 1.47 acre gravel area with 12 parking stalls for 12 tractors and 24 trailers. As you can see from this map, the project site is located at 2500 West Barnhart Road between Mountain View and Walnut Road in the Turlock area. It's still within the MAC boundaries, that's why we're here tonight. Next slide, please. The site has a general plan designation of agriculture, and next slide, a zoning designation of general agriculture A240. Yeah, the project site is surrounded by irrigated orchards and scattered single-family dwellings in all directions, a dairy right to the northwest, State Route 99 and the community of Keys to the west, and the city of Turlock to the south. Next slide. Parcel is currently developed with a 2,100 square foot single-family dwelling, a 900 square foot modular office, and a 2,500 square foot barn. The applicant proposes to utilize the 900 square foot office that's located outside of the parking area just for dispatch and administrative services for the business. The barn and dwelling would not be used as part of the parking facility, and no construction is proposed as part of the request. The trucks will transport non-hazardous dry goods and produce. The proposed hours of operation for the office on site are 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through, just 7 days a week. And then the parking area in the northwest corner of the property, or northeast corner of the property, that'll be open 24/7 for drivers to access. 13 employees consisting of 1 on-site administrative staff and 12 drivers will report to the site on maximum shift with an expected 12 truck trips and 12 passenger vehicle trips to and from the site per day, just for the employee vehicles going there and then the drivers leaving in the trucks and there and back. Access is proposed to be taken off county-maintained West Barnhart Road via a 20-foot wide gravel driveway, which again is the northeastern portion. I also wanted to just highlight some of the proposed ordinance amendments that the county's going through right now due to the community concerns and just increase in complaints surrounding this issue. The county started the process to evaluate the allowance for truck parking facilities in the A2 zoning district. And some ordinance amendments have been proposed, which will be considered by the General Plan Update Committee, the Planning Commission, and then the Board of Supervisors before actual implementation. In the meantime, conditions of approval for existing applications like this one will be added to address some of the proposed changes, such as solid fencing and frontage landscaping being included to screen the facility from view from the roadway, a prohibition on truck washing, outdoor storage, things like that, and then just delineation of parking stalls being required, and then restrictions to the parking within those specific stalls. Next slide, okay. So just some next steps, kind of general why we're here. The project went for its early consultation referral last year from November 27th to December 17th. And then the 30-day initial study referral is currently being drafted, should go out tomorrow. That'll circulate ahead of the public hearing date for 30 days. And then the items tentatively scheduled for an October 2nd public hearing with the Planning Commission at 6 p.m., which will be City Hall, downtown Modesto, 1010 10th Street, and the basement levels of chambers, same place the Board of Supervisors meets. So tonight we're just here to solicit a recommendation from the MAC, just see what you guys feel about the project, if you want to recommend approval, denial, no comment to the Planning Commission. And then on the next slide, there's my contact info as project planner, and I'm available for questions now, and then in the future, there's my contact info.
Will they widen the road?
That's not proposed at this time.
I've always supported the trucking company, especially when they're hauling all our fruits and vegetables. It's already land that's already a parking lot. It's not like they're tearing almond trees out or anything like that. So after discussion, I can make a motion, but.
Mr. Moore?
Well, again, we've got to support agriculture. All of us like to eat, so agriculture requires trucks, and these folks have to have places to park their trucks, otherwise they're going to be out in the street in our community. So I'll go along
Motion to.
I'll make a motion to support the county with the updated obligations that they're proposing.
Public comment.
Oh,
I might have missed this, but they're asking for truck parking there for agriculture trucks or freight trucks?
It would be semi-trucks, tractor trailer combinations. They would be transporting some produce and non-hazardous dry goods generally. Yeah. And the site is planted in row crops currently, the remainder of it.
So the combination trucks and bring in agriculture.
Yeah.
And any truck can go there, or is it just their business?
It would be limited to 12 tractor trailer combinations with at least one being owned by the property owner. Specifically, they own 5, and then it's just drivers employed by the specific company that park there. They don't do open rentals to specific facilities.
Guys, I see them parking all along Golden State.
Alright, if no other public comment, I'll make a motion to support the
Recommend approval to
the approval along with the county recommendations.
Second.
First and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Passes. Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Marcus.
Also, that's just a recommendation to the county has the final say.
Right.
Yeah, we really have no say. If we would have voted no, the county could have voted yes.
It does carry weight with them, but
I know
yes,
it does, but
ultimately-
it still doesn't change.
No, thanks for the
I like
clarification.
Turlock. Yeah.
Do you
Okay.
need a letter or an email?
Yeah, that would be preferred if you guys could provide something just saying you recommend approval.
Okay, now presentation on the implementation of the housing element rezone program, ordinance amendments, and development objective design standard, Stanislaus County Planning Department.
Hello, awesome to the planning department. My name is Christy Dowd, I'm deputy director for the Stanislaus County Planning. We've been going through this housing element process for, I think, since 2021. The housing element is part of our general plan, so it only covers unincorporated county. And the state has very extensive regulations about the housing element and what needs to go in it, and how many housing sites we have to accommodate and different income levels, criteria for how you identify each of those sites. It's on an 8-year cycle, and I'm just kind of giving a general first thing.
Okay.
I can see you're ready to switch slides, but so they have to approve it. The state has to approve our housing element, and then we have to implement the housing element in order for it to be considered certified. And until we're certified, we don't qualify for state grant funding for a lot of different things, for roads, parks. So there's a lot at stake. We're currently on our 4th round with the state of our draft housing element. They've rejected it every single time and asked us to make changes. So every time you submit a draft, they get 60 days to review it. And so we just started that next 60-day period today. But I'm here to I'm going to briefly go over the housing element, but I'm really here about the implementation part of the housing element. We're doing them at the parallel paths, because like I said, we need to have both done in order to qualify for grant funding. It's not just grant funding. If we don't get certified by the state can sue us. They can charge us daily fines for not being in compliance. So there's a lot of hooks that the state has to make us comply with our rules. So there's 3 parts that I'm going to go over on the implementation. Rezoning of sites. We have some zoning ordinance revisions, and then we've created some objective design standards. So first of all, the rezoning of the sites is coming from the housing elements sites inventory. So every 8 years, the state gives StanCog a number of housing units that have to be accommodated in all of Stanislaus County, in an extremely low, very low, low, moderate income, and above moderate income. There's different numbers for each one. And then based on population and some other characteristics, each city and then the county gets a number of units that they have to accommodate within their jurisdiction. So we have about 2,500 units that we have to accommodate in unincorporated Stanislaus County. And just to compare, the city of Modesto had like 11,500 units that they have now. So they had a lot higher of a number because they're more urban. They're near transit and other services, and they have their own water and sewer. So the numbers do vary based on the jurisdiction. But for Stanislaus unincorporated county, sorry, I'll tell you when to change slides. We need to accommodate 574 very low income units, 398 low income units, 468 moderate income units, and 1,000, I can barely read, I might be getting these numbers wrong. Right
No,
here.
you're
1,045, I need glasses.
You've been right so far.
Okay, 1,045 above moderate income units. Okay, change slide, next slide. So, we had identified 944 of those 2,500 units in projects that were underway, and also based on the number of like building permits we had issued for like accessory dwelling units. So the new development over here, Keys 19, we got to count all of those units towards, and we got a credit of 944 units. So that left us with just over 1,000 units that we had to find, and this is where the state gets very specific. You have to have water and sewer, and you have to be a certain size of a parcel. It has to be a vacant parcel or extremely underutilized parcel in order for us to count it. So a lot of criteria there. Next slide. So we did not have enough space to accommodate the number of units that we needed. That with the zoning in place as it is now, because most of our zoning is either agriculture or low density residential. Unincorporated county really doesn't have a lot of commercial or medium or high density residential zoning. And so we had to create a rezone program. And here are each of the communities. Like I said, it had to have access to water and sewer, and parcels that have a large enough size for us to be able to count them. And this program is going to be rezoning parcels in each of these communities, and you can see how many parcels. And the most parcels are in West Modesto, actually the Spencer Marshall neighborhood. The next highest number of parcels are in the Brett Hart area, South Modesto, around Fairview Park. We have a few parcels in Ceres and in Salida, and actually some of the Brett Hart parcels are on Pros Landing Road. We're doing some rezones to a new zoning district that's going to combine residential and commercial, so a mixed-use zoning district. That's new for us. And then in Keys, we have 3 parcels that we're going to look at rezoning. And this is to rezone up to R3, which is a high-density residential zoning. And Empire and Daenerys as well, a few parcels. So next slide. And so just to highlight the parcels in Keys, these are the 3 parcels that were identified in our site inventory to be rezoned from R1 low density residential to R3 high density residential.
270's commercial, wouldn't that be commercial?
Yeah.
260
I have, next slide, just a couple more pictures so you can get the, I know you guys probably are way more familiar than we are. One of them is across from the New Keys Trucking Center, and the other 2 are next to Hatch Park. Next slide. So there you can get a little bit more of the aerial close-up of the parcels. So maybe I'll stop there and just take comments on the rezone. This is the part that I want an action item on.
Okay. When do you plan on telling the people that own that land? Because
We have told them multiple times.
yeah, they're not.
So you plan on taking it in eminent domain, or are you trying to buy it?
Okay, so let me explain this a little better.
Because that top one's not going.
Right.
Yeah.
Normally, if you wanted to rezone your parcel, you would have to pay $12,000 to process an application. And then there would be studies probably included that would cost even more money. And we would process it like Marcus just came here and presenting. But we're actually covering the cost of that for the property owner. They do not have to develop it. It's not a requirement. It's just making the zoning available so that if someone wanted to develop it, it would be possible.
It's just showing the state that it can be built.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be built.
We don't actually have to build the units. We just have to show that we can.
But after that, can you go in there and just take it from them, like public domain, like you said?
Eminent domain, no, we would not do that.
So you need a vote for us?
Yeah, but if you don't mind, I can finish the presentation first. I mean, you could vote on that part too if you want to, but this part is most specific to Keys, so that's what I
Sure.
really want your input on, so. Next slide. So some of our zoning ordinance revisions, we are implementing a lot of amendments to our zoning code to just update our state law, because the state passed so many laws over the last 8 years. One of them is that they're making us raise the amount of the number of emergency shelter beds that we permit. We have currently a cap of 10, now it has to be 20. That's based on the homeless count numbers. We have to accommodate for what's called SB 9, and for those of you who don't know what SB 9 is, if you have a low density residential lot, which probably most of you do, you can split it into 2 lots, like a 50-50 proportion, and you can build 2 units on each lot at a staff level. So we have to allow you to split your property and build those by state law. You can go down to 1,200 square feet as long as you have water and sewer. So the state just took our authority to deny that away from us. We have to approve it as long as you have water and sewer, and you know it's like a 50-50 split. So.
Are these the ADUs?
Yeah, you can build 1 single family dwelling and 1 ADU on each parcel.
That's why we have so many cars in the alleyways.
So we also have to permit farm worker housing in the agricultural zoning district up to 12 units if they're single family, and up to 36 beds if it's going to be a multi-bed facility. We can't say no to that. We just have to allow it. That's part of state law. So we're putting that in our zoning code. And then we have to allow manufactured housing, mobile homes in every single zoning district that allows residences. So we do that currently, except for in the historic zoning districts of Knightsbury and LaGrange, but now we have to allow them there too. It's all just state laws. Poor Jennifer's heard this presentation like 7 times.
That's why she's skipping so fast.
I know, she's just like ready to go. Okay, so like I said, we're creating a new mixed-use zone. It's basically our general commercial zone mixed with our low-density residential zone. It's a new zone, or sorry, our high-density residential zone. And we're trying it out in on Broadway Avenue in Salida, and then along Crowsland. And next slide. We're also going to be amending the low-density, medium, and high-density residential development standards. So we're going to increase the minimum lot coverage from 40% to 59%, and cover 50% of your lot. Little things like that, like we used to have lot depth to width sizes that were very specific, that we're kind of being more flexible with those. And so you can site housing in a more flexible way for all these shaped parcels. And then we're just adding a new kind of housing, which is single room occupancy, which would be like a dormitory kind of style where you have rooms, maybe have their own bathrooms, but they share a kitchen, that kind of situation. We don't have that defined currently, so it's low now. Next slide. And okay, so we can't make people build in these rezone sites, but if they do build, we want to make sure it looks nice. And so we are developing these objective design standards, which say, if you come in here with a high-density residential development, it has to look like this. So here's some examples. Next slide. So it only is going to apply in the high-density and the mixed-use zones. And it's going to be offering a streamlined review. Next slide. And it includes things like variation in roof heights. Next slide. Gables, the recess of a garage door, and just little kind of architectural details that are going to be required in order to give the unit more architectural kind of flair, so it looks less like a prison and more like a neighborhood. Next slide. And then some landscaping standards as well. And I think that's it. Next slide. So just next steps. This is currently the public review period, so this implementation referral that we sent out to everyone is ending tomorrow, but I'll still take in any comments that anyone wants to send me, any questions as well. And then we're still, like I said, we just started the 4th review with the state. That's going to go for 60 days.
Thank you.
It just started today, so we'll end September. And then we're going to go through our adoption hearings first through our planning commission, and then to our board of supervisors, which is going to go, I think, November 4th. And if anyone, next slide, if anyone has any questions, next slide. You can email planning@stancounty.com, and there's our phone number as well. Again, my name is Christy Dowd, and I can field any questions now, or you can email or call me, and I can answer them later. And if you have comments, you can put them in writing or verbally as well.
All right, I have one question, I know the answer. Is any of those property owners here tonight?
I'm not sure, any of the property
They're,
owners here tonight?
they're not.
We did send out, okay, so just so you guys know how we noticed. First, we noticed the property owners. Then this next time, what we did, we noticed the property owners and everyone around them within a quarter mile.
There's 2,000 notices we sent out.
I think it was over 2,000 notices that we sent out.
Can you force, are you gonna force them to rezone, or you
No,
just ask them to rezone?
If they had asked us to drop their parcel, we would have dropped it. We did not get any of those requests.
Charlie Brown's on it.
What we did get were requests to add parcels.
Charlie Brown's house has all the new homes.
Which we did not include, because, they weren't included for a reason, like they weren't of the right size or, in the right location with water and sewer, so. Any other questions?
So you need a motion?
Yes.
I personally make a motion to not support this, because the property owners aren't here and they're not asking for it. That's my opinion.
Okay.
Discussion.
Okay, I'll second that.
First and second, not to support this. All in favor of the vote?
Aye.
Aye.
All because the property owners aren't here?
Yeah.
Okay.
If they wanted to do this, they would have went to the county and asked for it. That's my opinion, but again, we're advisory council, the county can do whatever they
And we've
want.
seen this a few months ago on the website.
Yeah.
It's been out, yeah, for over a year.
That's it,
Yeah.
Okay. Now we'll move on to election of MAC secretary.
Not doing it.
Discussion.
Discussion, so.
So we can't force you,
Yeah.
right? But you are bound by the Brown Act, I did bring the bylaws. If you guys don't have minutes, then we just don't post them on the website, but that reflects on the board,
Yeah.
right? So you guys can choose,
I say wait for a minute
You wanna
until
handle
until we
it?
have a full board and have a discussion.
if somebody wants to take the minutes each meeting as we go in the interim, you can do that. I think it's important for the minutes to be posted so that the community can go back and review what is being, said at the meetings. But again, it falls on you guys as the board. It's your responsibility. So if you guys choose, you guys can choose not to have a secretary, but then the minutes will be posted, so.
I know it needs to be done, but our attendance this year has just been fluctuating too much to be able to decide. So I hate to say table it one more time, but let's table it one more time and hope we get a full board in October.
Is that a motion?
I'll make that motion.
I second.
All in favor?
Table.
Aye.
Motion passes, none to table there. Okay, correspondence, do you have any? I don't believe so.
No.
Council comments, suggestions for future agendas, you got anything?
Let's just hope everybody shows next time.
We entertain a motion to adjourn?
At 8:45, yes.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Where's Harinder?
Out of town.